Hi, everyone. Peaceful Nick and the amazing and wonderful Linda G, Comanche Psychic. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, Linda?
Fine, and I can't find you now. Hold on.
Oh,
There you
okay.
are.
Hello.
No?
Yeah, well, just
There you
keep
are.
piddling around. Hi. Hello,
Hi, everybody.
everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. I am StreamYarding on Facebook and YouTube. I do prefer people go to YouTube just for many, many reasons. But hello, everybody in the comments already. We're going to talk about so much stuff tonight. We're going to talk about Mount Shasta because you just went there. And I am the paranormal queen. I'm a scientist, a medium, and a lover of all things woo-woo and paranormal.
Mhm.
Um,
And
Dr.
you're the one that introduced me to our
Lady,
witch, our white witch.
that's right. Gettysburg. We're planning a trip to Gettysburg for
Planning a
next
trip to
year.
Gettysburg, and we'll do it so we can have a group of people.
Yeah, 2026. It's being planned. Lady Shadow's already working on it. Hopefully when it's not hot. I'm not a big fan of the heat.
Me neither. Can she do like more in September or October? Or
We will. She's not a fan of the heat either.
good.
So we
Good.
will get that arranged.
We'll all be walking around with our big old ass fans.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh. And so that is going to be incredible. She knows all the spots. She's been there dozens and dozens of times, as you know.
Oh yeah, that's so cool to have somebody that knows what they're, and she knows where to stay too.
She knows all the secret tips and tricks for over there. Stephen Greer, we're going to talk about Stephen Greer. We're going to talk about the CE5 and all that Mount Shasta stuff over there. I had Lady Shadow and I had on our podcast Dr. Eben Alexander, the near-death experiencer neurosurgeon, and so we can talk about that and all things crazy that are happening politically. I want to mention the big news.
Yes, yes.
But a huge thank you again for allowing me on your show regularly. I am so blessed, and it's changed my life completely.
Oh, and really?
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Tell me that, and I'm like, for reals?
For real. For real.
I'm not doing it to change anybody's life. I do it because I have a good time.
Well, it changed my life because for many reasons, exposure to a new audience, because social media is so hard to get. If you're not in the algorithm, you never get in the algorithm until you get a wonderful, loving friend like Linda G.
No, but listen, even some people I've had that don't quite, but listen, keep working at it. Just keep doing shows.
Oh, I do. I am. I do. Yep. I do live streams on Mondays. I want to tell everybody, I have a lot of free stuff going on. I do to raise our elevation because of all the crap going on politically, which is so stressful to everyone, as you know. I have consciously decided to help people raise their vibration by doing free meditation on Mondays on YouTube. So I have a few on there already. It'll be every Monday morning around 9 to 11 Eastern, approximately, depending on the week and my schedule. But we need to learn how to quiet our minds, turn off the news, turn off the crap, and have some peace of mind, because this stuff is not getting better. It's just getting worse, and people are more stressed.
Right.
So join me there. And if you are interested in finding your spirit guide, I get this question, my most commonly asked question. I have a free guide to finding your spirit guide on my website. Anybody can just click the button and get the guide.
Awesome.
So we're getting some questions. I also have all kinds of stuff on my website. Everybody can just go there and, look at all the stuff. Digital downloads and readings and classes and all of that.
You're so good that way. You take care of your peoples.
I try to do a lot of free stuff because we need free stuff.
I know. I do my members and the subscribers, and I do 2 a month. So 4 a month, 4 free readings every month, just to kind of, keep people excited. But so many people applying for a free reading. It's hard. But I don't do readings anymore, you guys, because I was on Jeff's show, and Jeff Ma, and my daughter said, "Oh, all kinds of people." It's like, where, you know, and I told them on that show I don't do readings. So I had to retire because my ass is old.
Well, I know my husband was asking me, three people had to reschedule in 1 week for me. And he's like, just add them on a day, another day. I'm like, you can't just do 25 readings in a week. Like, I said, my brain can only handle.
You do have a limit. Yes.
So
when I first worked at Angel Heart, she would fill my schedule from 9 to 4.
It's too much. It's too much.
I burnt out really fast.
Yeah, I don't do maximum 3 long readings, maximum 5 small readings a day, maximum, because I start to lose my good connection. I want to do good readings. I don't want to do readings.
Yeah.
I don't want to do bullshit readings. I don't want to make some crap up. I want to do good readings.
Yeah.
And so I limit how many I do. So, but we do need to raise the vibration. I want to talk, first of all, about all this Epstein crap.
Ooh, girl, yes. I'm listening.
Well, I read in 2015, so we're 10 years deep into this, right? I read the legal documentation from about the 2 12 and 13-year-old girls.
Mm-hmm.
I read that years ago, and I literally should not have read it because I've been scarred from the details in that document.
Yeah.
Against the orange one,
Orange Crush.
The name that shall not be said.
Yes, the Orange Crush. Hi, Lisa.
I was just going to say, hi, Lisa. Thank you. I read that, and I've been preaching it from the rooftops for years, and why these MAGA men are just now realizing that the Epstein files are real and that he's in them. It blows my mind. They're so upset now. It's like, well, yeah, there's 1,000 pictures and videos of them together. Is it a surprise? He talked about sleeping with his own daughter on television multiple times.
He's so attracted to her. If she wasn't her daughter, he's mad.
That is not something you joke about.
That's not healthy. No.
That is not normal. So my belief and my feeling is this has really fractured them. And the way he's been insulting all of his people today. Have you seen that?
Yeah, Tucker, the one who's really mad about this. Lauren Boebert is. Yeah.
I think Laura Loomer said something.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is happening? Oh, Roxanne said Bondi was an Epstein girl too. Really?
Yes, there's a picture of her very young, standing, unless it was, fake. She's standing with Epstein and Orange Crush. But listen, what's amazing is he said there is no list. There was nothing. It's nothing. Don't believe none of this. It's nothing. And then he starts screaming at the press. Bill Clinton was mentioned 38 times, and Bill Clinton,
if he is mentioned, burn his ass too.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Yeah. There's nothing here, but Bill Clinton was on. So if there's nothing, then whatever.
My wonderful colleague and medium Kathy Barron said, and this is such a good point. If the files are released, they won't be real. They'll be redacted and doctored. Of course. And now the waters are so muddied now. So muddied.
So can I ask you, what is your feeling? Will they ever be released? I think we're going to know everything.
I hope they are. I think my feeling is yes. But you know how dynamic the world is. Right?
Yeah, it could be 5 or 10 years. He'll be dead when they come out.
Right. Right. I hope they are. The only, and I hate to say this because she's so disgusting. The only hope we have is if Ghislaine Maxwell sings like a bird, but it wouldn't surprise me if she got suicided as well.
Well, she's scared of that. That's why she wouldn't meet with Barr when she first got arrested. Mm-hmm. And today he said, you know, the guy that's chief of the stock market, what's his name? The guy
I don't even know.
He went to fire him today. And so the bonds started dropping. And he says, no, I changed my mind. Then he tells everybody, I didn't know I hired him.
Sandra said the files will be leaked. I hope you're right, Sandra. I hope you're right.
Rose, what's her name?
And
O'Donnell said she had him.
Really? And so said Jerome Powell. Yeah. So the difference between the Republicans and Democrats are the Democrats say if our Democratic leaders are in the files for real, they need to burn too. Anybody that's that disgusting needs to burn.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't care what color tie you wear.
Yeah. He was terrible. Did you read the part where he threw money at the girl and told her if she got pregnant, she can go get it?
Because he didn't wear protection. And she said, what if I'm pregnant? And he threw her $300 or something like that and said, get an abortion.
Go get an abortion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's paid for plenty of those. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure. And, but it's interesting what's happening, how there's so many fractures.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting
on Elon and all this. Is Elon going to release some stuff?
Look, you read my mind because I was just going to mention Elon Musk. It's like you're psychic, Linda.
I'm psycho.
A psychic psycho, like all of us. I think Elon knows a lot, and I think Trump is scared to death. And I know I mentioned this to you on one of the last times we talked. I met Elon Musk in 2012 at our convention in Pasadena. Because I work for a Mars organization. We had a big convention in Pasadena, and he was our keynote speaker. It's all on YouTube for the landing of one of the Mars rovers. The Curiosity rover landed August 5th/6th because it was midnight Eastern in 2012, and he was our keynote speaker that weekend. And he did not seem like he seems now. He seemed like he really wanted to help humanity. One of his ex-wives was there with him, the young, pretty one. I can't remember her name. They were broken up but back together. It was a whole big dramatic thing. But I think he knows a lot. And I think if there was fraud, he knows, and he probably helped.
They just gave him another package.
I saw that.
So they're trying to keep his mouth shut.
Yep, exactly. I agree completely. Hello, everyone. Hello. There's so many comments. I'm so glad the moderators are here, Lisa, and I think there's somebody else.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, Azalea said, I watched a woman's testimony from what happened to her and the felon. Disgusting. Yeah, it's scarring. The documents I read, I'm scarred. It comes back to me, and it's like, how come this wasn't in every single news organization's front page for the entire year he was running? Every single word, and that should have been. And then I think this, Linda, and I want your opinion.
Okay.
Do you think it's being allowed for him to be in office? Because I think we have so many nefarious people who are a pay grade above the president, as you know.
Right.
It has to be being allowed for him to be there, or he would not be there, period. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, and also he's the destroyer. He's just taking a sledgehammer and destroying our nation, firing everybody. But he doesn't have long. He's not going to be in there 4 years.
I hope you're right.
I'm 100% right.
I have a feeling you're right, but I think I'm so scarred from the last 10 years that I'm afraid that he will somehow get reelected.
He's not, he can't change the Constitution.
Right. And did you hear about Texas gerrymandering?
They're thinking about it, but they'll start it up. But I don't know how I know. Listen, when she lost, and he won. It was such a shock. Of course, now we find out they cheated, which makes total sense.
Yep.
But I asked my guys, I said, why? Why would you let this happen? Why did this happen? Why did you tell me she was going to win? And they said, Linda, man has free will.
Yep.
His people need to find out who he really is.
I agree.
So the taste in everybody's mouth is going to get worse and worse and worse.
And the pendulum swings.
Yes.
The pendulum.
You can't keep going that ugly. You just can't.
Right. And light always wins.
It's the dark, yeah.
Like,
but there's so many people that will gather and vote. I don't care if he tries to get more Republican seats. It's Democrats that are going to win those seats. That's how much people are upset.
You know, I'm worried now that none of our elections are going to be fair and free ever again. Like, I'm so worried that we won't know. First of all, we got AI, so we can't trust anything we see about politicians or in the media anymore at all. The deep fakes are so good. Photos are doctored all the time. And now with the way the election machines can be messed with, which I thought this for years. When I moved to Georgia and I voted in my first election, you put a chip in, you take the chip out. Yeah, it was a chip in Georgia in 2004, 5, somewhere around there. So 20 years ago, you put the chip in, you vote, you take the chip out and you hand it to the lady at the desk. And I didn't get a receipt or anything. I had nothing that printed my vote, nothing. And I told my husband every time, I'm like, I just don't feel like this is right. Like, shouldn't we get some type of receipt?
Did you feel it was a little untoward?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because every other time I voted, when I voted in California, it was on paper.
Yes.
And I felt like, okay, this is a piece of paper.
That's why they were saying they think Biden won. He was cheating back then too, because COVID and everybody had voted by paper.
Right. But you have paper to count. Those chips, man. I just never felt right about it. Did you live in Georgia long enough to vote there?
No, I was born there, but I was an Army brat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did they change Fort Benning back to Fort Benning?
I don't know.
They were going to change it back to the Confederate names.
You know what I used to say to people when I lived there? They'd say, the South will rise again. I said, and do what? What are you going to do? The blue states pay for all the excess money that you don't have.
I know. Listen, it's very sad, but a lot of these states that struggle, they're going to struggle even more coming up.
Yeah, it's hard and it sucks. And burning of all that 500 million pounds or whatever of food and the floods in Texas. It's like
somebody I know, it broke my heart too, because she's the daughter of a lifelong family friend, posted a picture of a bunch of Army. They might have been, I don't know if they were military, but they were wearing military. They could have been Air National Guard on bunkers in a big auditorium. And it said, you see how they treat our military? You see how they're sleeping? So don't try to make me feel bad for illegal aliens. I'm like, you know what? First of all, no way this is an official Army bunker, because you can throw a quarter off their beds. They have a way. So this must be something that was set up at the last minute. And tell me, is the food they're being served have maggots in it? And by the way, do they get to go home?
Right. Somebody just said in here, Bondi fired the prosecutor.
Yeah, she fired Comey's daughter. Comey's daughter is one of the ones that did the prosecution on, who was it? You guys are saying it. I saw it earlier. 2 big prosecutions. And she was Comey's daughter and gave no reason. They just fired her because she was Comey's daughter.
So let's shift gears. Is the Wi-Fi okay?
Yeah, right now it's
Okay.
good. I didn't have any this morning.
Okay. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So let's talk about Mount Shasta, all the missing
Oh,
people,
yes.
all the
Yes.
paranormal stuff. So we're shifting gears a little bit. If I start freezing, somebody let me know. I have good Wi-Fi, but I don't know if something weird's happening. So let me know. Oh, thank you, Kathy.
And a
So
7.5, right, in Alaska today?
yeah, I saw that. So look out for tsunami.
I
You're not
think on
close.
one of my shows, I said Alaska. I saw the north.
Yep. Mhm.
So go ahead. What were you?
I was just going to ask you, what do you think happens? Because there's a lot of missing people in Mount Shasta, and ironically enough, you just mentioned Alaska. Like people just go missing. What is your intuition or your psychic insight to what happens to all these missing people? Where do they go? They can't just disappear.
Well, they said they just had a show last night on the Sky Ranch, and you said you didn't watch
Skywalker Ranch, Skywalker Ranch.
Skywalker Ranch, and they went to Mount Shasta, and the guard or the ranger there said they get a lot of people missing. And one of the things about being up there is you can't figure out where you are. You get real dizzy. They show compasses spinning. So either they go and they die naturally, or they're taken by an ET is what I'm feeling.
I think that it's so bizarre that so many people of different genders, ages, it's not like it's all the same, like, 12-year-old girls all go missing. It's like any age, people just disappear. And I just find that like so bizarre. And
everybody's saying Skinwalker. I said Skywalker.
I may have said Skinwalker. That's right. That's right. And it's like, I think if it is ETs, what are they doing with them? Like, what are you doing with these humans? Are they just harvesting their DNA to make hybrids?
I think they do hybrids. Yeah.
That is so insane.
What have you been there?
I have not been to Mount Shasta.
Okay.
I have not. No. There's a lot. When I lived in California and on the West Coast, there's a lot of things I wanted to do that I never got to do because I was working all the time to be able to afford that mm-hmm. So I was working at least 2 jobs all the time.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much you make, it's never enough when your mortgage is a gazillion dollars in the Bay Area, as you know.
Oh my God. And listen, my car insurance, I was paying $160 for 2 cars. Never, no accident, nothing. My son's car's totally paid for. It went up to $222.
Jeez, I know the insurance is terrible here. Christine Russell asked a good question. Why do they have to take so much DNA for hybrids? Because with my science background, I will tell you, because my undergraduate degree is biology, you have to have enough genetic diversity in order to keep the population healthy. So if you just take one man's DNA and one woman's DNA and make hybrids, if those hybrids get some kind of illness, then they're all probably going to have it, right? So you need a big diverse genetic pool, which is interesting because the government now wants to get rid of any genetic diversity in our country, when genetic diversity is the key to life thriving, right? Like life thrives with diversity, human life thrives. So they need to have that to make the populations healthy.
Right.
Okay. So Mount Shasta, probably ETs. What do you think about the mutilations of like cows and stuff like that? What do you think that is?
There was some guy, what is his name? He's the one that wrote the book with the big ET on it.
Communion, Whitley Strieber.
He talks about that and what they've told him.
And what have they told him?
It's just that they, I guess the amount of blood is what they need. They need the blood too.
Yeah.
But they can't do it to humans, or they would. But he said that they use it for identifying certain things with animals but they're not meat eaters, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the Greys that are doing that?
Yeah, it's the Greys.
Because do you think the Greys are more robot than biological? Yeah. Okay, I think the same thing.
Yeah. And he talks about that. He talks about even sometimes when they get blown up or something happens, their body parts are weird.
Yeah. Be Free says Linda Moulton Howe is huge on cattle mutilation. Yeah, I've followed her for a long time too.
Yeah.
She does a lot on that. If it's not ETs, I think it's the government. I think a lot of stuff is the government, like doing weird stuff. Maybe not the government, but maybe like the black budget government doing weird stuff. Like,
yeah, but the thing is that those mutilations are perfect, clean. No There's blood. Nothing around the body with any trauma, and they know they were dropped from a high because they even had cameras that caught the cow going up in the air. When it's dropped, all the ribs break and stuff.
Yep. I've read about it. I've watched documentaries, and it's just so bizarre. Yeah. And Stephen Greer talks about all of this stuff. And I know that did you say he was recently at Mount Shasta and did CE5 there or somewhere?
I think he was there. Yeah.
I thought that's what you said. Yeah. I followed him for a long time, and I really like him because he does have the medical degree background. So he is, unfortunately legitimized by his educational background and his professional background. But I like that he talks about compartmentalization of all of this stuff and how like 10 people don't all know the same thing on purpose, right? Person one knows this bit about ETs, person two knows a different thing. And there's no crossover, which is kind of smart if you want to keep a secret. If one guy
him because he told everybody this big reveal was coming.
I know.
It was a huge thing. And he said he even met with the current president to talk about it. He seemed but 45 always acts interested. He could care less. But anyway, so it was this huge reveal and then nothing happened. That's why it's important not to announce stuff unless, you were there already and saw it.
I agree. And I think that a lot of, that's why I don't do psychic predictions very often because, especially about something like this, I think something that big. I mean, we've been looking at, there's going to be disclosure for decades. There's going to be disclosure. And it's like, either the aliens are there or they're not. The government is not going to stand up on a perch and say the ETs are here. Like, it's just not how it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think they're already here and they're making themselves known to the right vibrational energy. They're not going to come to a regular Joe Blow with guns because they know they're just going to ask for trouble.
Yeah. Our society at best is very ill prepared for a higher vibration being. Yeah. Because I think if aliens are coming here from another planet in another solar system, they've had to advance sociologically as well as technologically.
And they look at us a little bit pathetically.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're technologically advancing, but sociologically, for most part, we're terrible. We can't be. There's some good questions going by, but there's so many comments that I can't keep up, and I keep losing the comment. Someone asked about Gavin Newsom's speech. I think that he's going to be the front runner for the Democratic Party in the next election.
You do? Okay, because when Biden spoke that night, that was terrible. And one of the MSNBC, by the way, she's no longer working there, that talked to Gavin Newsom and said, so, wasn't Biden pretty bad or some sort of comment? He laid into her. And he said, I'll have you know, that other guy was up there just lying away.
Yeah.
That president we have is will be known as one of the best presidents ever. All the things he's done, and he started naming them off, right? Mm-hmm. Then he turned around and walked away. She was like going down like this. And I looked at him and I said, and then just recently, you know, he's telling them off about getting the military involved in LA. I looked at him and I felt that flash like, oh my God, don't tell me he's going to run for president.
I think he is. And the reason why I think he'll be the front runner is because he's classically handsome.
Yeah.
And he's smart and he's dressed well and he's been a governor for so long. Like, I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm just saying I think he's going to be at the top, to the top of the ticket. It makes sense.
Here's the deal. He can give as good as he gets.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We don't want someone, you know, as much as I love our vice president, you know, she would have been a great president. But
I agree.
And she won. But anyway, this guy is giving him a what for. And I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people were cowering. His own people are cowering. Yes, sir. And he said, you know, and if he got in there, he would start from day one, wiping out everything he did.
Yeah. Just like Biden did. For the most part. I think some of the stuff stayed.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details, but I think he deleted most of what happened. But I think I love Kamala. I thought she was great. Now I know that a lot of people, because she's a woman and she's a woman of color, and I think that just shows that we're still misogynistic and racist in this country, which is sad.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah. Yep. It's very sad. And my husband used to tell me people are still racist. People are still racist. And I'm like, no, they're not. Because I grew up in the Bay Area. Right. So I thought everybody knew about all the different cultures. And
oh, yeah, we're way different than Georgia. But listen, the good news is eventually this too shall pass. But can you imagine if Hillary Clinton had won? The dynamics.
I said that to my husband a couple days ago. Yeah.
If she had won, and then she probably would have done 2 terms. But it's just, you know, I don't know why the United States just doesn't like an uppity woman.
Because I'll tell you why. And I made a post about this right before the election, and we've got some questions about the asteroid and some other stuff.
Okay.
But I think there is a huge amount of male privilege in this country, and they're being indoctrinated by these podcasters, and they don't want mommy to tell them what to do. Mommy can't tell me to fold my clothes and clean my bathroom. Mommy can't tell me what to do. So all these podcasters, these influential podcasters with millions and millions of young men who vote, and middle-aged men too, convince them, no, she's terrible for these 25 different reasons.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge part of it. And now some of those podcasters are eating their words.
Yep, they sure are. A lot of people are suffering.
And saying, you know what? I thought he was going to do this, and now he's doing this. I didn't expect him to throw these people in alligator Alcatraz.
No, that's really cruel.
Yeah. So Delay said, big asteroid coming. Is it going to hit Earth? No. But I will tell you, we could get hit by an asteroid and destroyed at any moment, at any time. Any moment at any time. But it's not going to be that one.
Okay.
And then someone said something about Russian trolls in the chat roll spouting weird, and I don't know. I didn't see any.
Right now in our chat room?
I don't know. Nicholas is asking that. I'm not sure. I don't see anything weird, but it is going by.
Ness and Lisa and those guys, they get rid of it ASAP.
Yeah, that's probably why, because I don't see them. Any famous creators or inventors of the past were actually aliens or hybrids.
Yes. Or at least, you know, they say Abraham Lincoln was a walk-in. Ruth Montgomery said he was a walk-in.
Interesting. I have a friend who is a walk-in who got in a horrible car accident.
And I think he was in that terrible where he lost that girlfriend of his and he was mourning. He might have been suicidal. And I think that's when he became the walk-in so he could be president.
Interesting. Yeah, I think the whole thing about walk-ins are fascinating.
Yeah,
Fascinating. Because my
I'm not
friend,
a walk-in, but I'm an
my,
alien.
I was going to ask you, if you don't mind, what's your blood type? Are you
Oh,
positive or negative? You're
oh,
positive. I'm A negative, and I always thought there was something to the Rh negative factor.
I've
Um,
heard that. Yeah.
yeah. So, but if you're O positive, then that doesn't make
I'm,
sense.
Native American. That's Native
Are
Americans are all meat eaters.
We should just have a chat about that on one of these days, just
Yeah.
about the Native American lore and all of that,
Yeah.
because that amazes me and fascinates me. I
Yeah.
have a little bit, like 2%, either Cherokee or Blackfoot. My family history, you know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
They keep changing their mind.
That's why I never got mad at that Senator, what's her name? She ran
Yes,
for president.
Elizabeth Warren.
She said she had Native, and she's from Oklahoma. Let me tell you, everybody in Oklahoma thinks they have Native in them because it's all through the whole state.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood her. I said, so what happened is she had her DNA done and couldn't find anything. But probably they passed it on in her family. Oh, yeah, you got a little Native in you. I just happen to be able to prove it by my DNA. So
right, exactly. And back then, when she said that, I don't think DNA tests were out back all those years ago.
Oh boy, that Trump wouldn't let that go.
Oh well, he's one of those people who's, a narcissist, among other things, who repeat the lie until they believe it. I mean, he has said that, repeat the lie until they believe it, and that's what he does over and over. And Kathy Behrens says it's all the information and paid propaganda. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. It's constant. That's why I stopped watching the news.
Yeah, that's the only way you could. The only reason I watch the news is because I have a show. So I have to be updated. But yeah, I can
watch your show to get the news. I watch your show to get the news.
There you
go. Somebody said there's an earthquake swarm going on at the Salton Sea. Are they a precursor to the big one? I mean,
where's it happening?
The Salton Sea.
Oh, there's swarms. There's been swarms down in Southern California, swarms up in Washington. Now we had the big one in Alaska. There's another big one coming, but I don't see the Salton Sea.
We have two questions. Do you see Matt Gaetz returning to politics? In what position?
I see Trump advising him or asking him. I think when they thought that Bongino was going to step down with the FBI, I think they were talking about putting Matt Gaetz in there.
Interesting. And then a great question. What's a walk-in? So a walk-in is when one soul leaves your body and another soul enters your body. That's my understanding. Do you have a different understanding, or is it?
No, it could be someone who was with you in another life, but someone who's on the other side, and you've made an agreement with them that they would take over your body.
Right.
Ruth Montgomery talks about it. Google it. Put Ruth Montgomery walk-ins, and it'll be a whole thing there. And I remember specifically, she said Abraham Lincoln was a walk-in.
That is fascinating. Yeah, my friend told me she was a walk-in 20 years ago. We worked together. She was my hallmate at work. She was a teacher as well. And and I didn't know anything about mediumship or walk-ins or anything at the time. And she said she was in a very bad car accident and had some kind of near-death experience. And then she was a walk-in because she was completely different.
Exchange. Yeah.
She was completely different after that accident.
Well, they're different, but they still carry some of the traits of that personality. It's interesting.
Yeah. It was fascinating to learn about. Walk in like a hybrid. Hi, Manx girl. My opinion about souls in the universe, human souls and souls of other beings, is that if you're a sentient being, if you're a dog, if you're a cat, if you're a horse, if you're a lizard, I guess, everything has a soul to some degree, whether you're an alien from Mars or Alpha Centauri or the Andromeda Galaxy. If you or a sentient being, if you're a thinking, self-aware being, you have a soul. And so I believe we have lived many lives on other planets. I have been obsessed with the planet Mars, and I'm actually an expert on the planet Mars to this day. I've been obsessed with the planet Mars since the late 80s when I was in high school. Obsessed.
Can people actually live there?
Well, technically, we have the technology to send people to live there, but you have to live in a dome. You have to have a spacesuit on, because there's not enough atmospheric pressure. Your blood would escape from your body, and there's no oxygen. So you couldn't breathe the air. So you'd always have to have a containment system.
I love that show with Matt Damon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the author of that, Andy Weir, he has the Project Hail Mary coming out in March. Same author, they made a movie, so that's going to be cool. So people can live there in a contained system. Okay. But yeah, so I always wondered, why am I so obsessed with space and Mars? Just obsessed. I mean, I read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books in high school.
What was it, a past life and related to that? Or
I've not had a past life regression, but I will someday. It's on my bucket list. I believe I have had to have had a past life there. I feel my instincts tells me that there's no reason why there couldn't have been a civilization on Mars before. Yeah. Thousands of years ago.
And also, some of us are from different.
Yeah, exactly. Alpha Centauri, the Andromeda Galaxy, wherever. There are an uncountable number of stars and planets in the universe. And we could have been here for billions of years, living millions and millions of lives. Billions of lives.
We're not here to challenge Sterling if he said there's no such thing as walk-ins. We're just telling you what we know, what the author Ruth Montgomery, who was pretty famous for it. Maybe there isn't, maybe there is. You come up to your own conclusions.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of people with different opinions on different things in the spiritual realm.
Always.
Always. And it's what sits well with you.
Yeah.
Right? Your own. That's why meditation and sitting in the power and connecting with spirit is so important. I'm sure, Linda, you did sitting in the power, sitting with spirit many times. It's so important because that's how you determine your thoughts from spirit's thoughts.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't believe in ETs or spaceships until
I didn't believe in spirit guides. I thought it was crap.
I did until I went to Sedona and saw 53 of them in living color. And I said, oops, I guess there is.
I heard you talking about the military goggles. That I want a pair of those so bad.
Me too. They're like $3,000 on eBay, used.
I want a pair so bad. So I look at the sky as much as I possibly can. If anybody follows my Instagram stories, 90% of my Instagram stories are pictures of the sky. I have an unhealthy amount of pictures. I'm like so obsessed with space, obviously. I love it. I love it.
Do you project thought into the universe? Do you tell them to protect us?
Do what? I didn't hear what you said.
Do you project thought into the universe? Because when I do that and sit and tell them, please protect us, please encompass us, I know they can't change because they can't change free will, but I will feel like high as a kite.
I get so amped up after I do readings, after I do mediumship readings. I feel the same way. And I set intentions. I pray to the universe. I pray to spirit. I pray to source, God, higher power, whatever people define it as. I always put out what's best, what's for the higher good, what's for a higher calling. It's important to raise our vibration collectively.
Yeah.
And like when I'm doing my mediumship readings, I always say, dear God, spirit, angels, and saints, please allow me to connect with spirit to prove that so-and-so's loved ones go on beyond this earthly realm, to understand that they have, eternal life. And give them messages of hope, healing, peace, and love. I set that intention before every single mediumship reading I do, because it's important. And if I do 5 readings in a row, I say that in between every reading.
Well, when we connect, sometimes we're feeling the energies around him, and that manna from heaven, that's heaven.
Yeah.
You know, even the ones that used to have attitude don't have them anymore, because they're in a space of well-being, and that well-being is encompassing. It makes you, and even sometimes the people we read can feel it.
Do you ever get overwhelmed with the connection to spirit, to where you're like, whoa, that's a little overwhelming, like that's a lot?
Yes. And even remember I've talked about the woman I was reading, her dead husband, and all of a sudden my phone went off, a man's voice, and I looked to see what it was, and he said, in our realm, anything is possible. And I took a screenshot of it.
I love that. I love that. Cindy said, when you do a mediumship reading, do you see anything before we actually see you? Nick hit my reading spot on. Yeah. So this is my notebook. I have stacks of these. I do a meditation before every reading, and I write all these notes before every reading. I draw pictures and all this stuff. So this comes in about 10 minutes before every reading. And I hope none of that, I hope that was all too blurry for anybody to read. But yeah, I get so much information ahead of time, always, like, and sometimes the night before. I have dreamt the night before a reading of people who are going to come into my mediumship reading.
I haven't had that, but they will come before and stand in line.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen. My mom's birthday is on July 31st, and she passed in 1986. And the first year I was training to be a medium, at midnight on her birthday, I laid down to go to bed, and I closed my eyes, and I could see my mother and like 1,000 people lined up behind her. And I'm like,
they love to come in when there's a little spot there so they can say hello.
It's midnight, Mom. I don't know who these 1,000 people are.
Sometimes, a lot of times, I'll go back into a time where the most joy for my client, where I can see a table full of food, I can smell cigarette smoke, and I can hear cocktails being clacking and people laughing, and maybe their dad was the funny one and he's talking the loudest, and he goes with the guys in the garage. I could see all that. And as I'm talking, they're going, yeah. But it was one of the funner times for them.
Yeah, it's interesting, the things we see in readings. Sometimes it can be the most unusual memory, and they're like, well, why is that coming through? Because a client sometimes has expectations, what they want to hear, or they want to hear about grandma's wedding ring that was refigured into a necklace or whatever. They expect to hear that, but they're actually hearing about grandma's pet boo-boo that had a tail cut off in a car accident, and they're like, well, why is she bringing that through? I'm like, that's just what they're bringing through. You can't control it.
Yeah, but they're in a place now that all the ugly stuff, although I did read a girl that I saw the man with his head turned looking towards water. He was sitting in the car, and he came through. I described him, and she said, oh, that's my uncle. And then I heard a gunshot in the back of his head, and he died at that moment. She said, yeah, that's for sure my uncle. He just really wanted to tell her he's so sorry. He just couldn't. He was really saying he was sorry. And she burst down crying, and she said he had molested her.
Oh.
So that's what he was trying, because that was not good on him or her. So, yeah. But isn't that interesting? I got that he was looking at water, and he was here, and then he wasn't.
Wow. That is fascinating. And I had a similar story about the uncle and the molesting happen on a live stream.
Ooh.
When I used to do readings on live streams, and that was hard to navigate without saying it, but she knew what I meant. And then I ended up giving her a free reading later because it was so sensitive. And she needed healing real bad. And he came through really clear with an apology.
What happened? Yeah, I know. So when I had my little group, my mediumship group at Angel Heart. I told, sitting there and the whole family's there. And I said, oh, so-and-so here over here wants me to congratulate you on your pregnancy. Everybody started screaming. And she said, yes, I'm pregnant. I hadn't announced it yet.
Yep. Yep. I used to be I used to say I was a pregnancy totem pole. Every woman that came around me ended up pregnant. Yeah. I'm like, she's going to be pregnant. She's going to be, it was crazy. Yeah. I want to talk about science proves mediumship is real, but we're heading up on an hour here. So I think maybe next time we can talk about.
Yes, we definitely, you guys like this? We'll do some more.
Yeah. I'd love to meet once a month. Maybe we can make it like a third Wednesday of the month or something. Sure. So we can do it regularly for the regular. Yeah. This is my regular live stream time, Wednesday at this time. So if you have a different time in mind, I'd be happy. I love it. I love talking to you. I think we have a million other subjects.
Yes, we do. I might have to go maybe even a little later because this is dinner time.
Yeah, that's fine. I can go later. Absolutely. I was wondering about that when I said 5 o'clock.
His dinner's in there, but I haven't served it because he just woke up. He works nights. He stays up all night, sleeps all day.
Okay, everybody's saying, please do. Yes, ladies. I love it. And I have a podcast. I think I mentioned this earlier, but for everybody who didn't hear it, I have a podcast. Dr. Eben Alexander was my guest last week. He is the neurosurgeon who.
Oh, yes. He's the one that saw that woman and it was his twin.
His sister that he didn't know he had because he was adopted.
Yes.
And was
it a twin sister or just a sister?
Just a sister. He was adopted and his bio parents ended up getting married after he was adopted and had more kids. And his sister died before he found that out about his bio parents. Wow. And then when he had his near-death experience, his sister came to him and then he described her later and said, oh my gosh, that was my sister who passed away before I met my bio parents. So wow. He was the guest on Lady Shadow, Gettysburg Lady Shadow, the White Witch. She's my co-host and we interviewed him last week and we talked a lot about how science proves mediumship is real and how his experience is, because he's a neurosurgeon, his experience changed his whole outlook and he's done so much research and he mentions all these different places you can get all this information proving that the afterlife is real. And I've been trying to do that. I have a playlist on my TikTok that says science proves mediumship and I go through all these different things.
Right.
So I want to talk about
that. And he didn't believe in any of this.
No, he didn't believe in any of it. Yep. And
then he got really sick. Oh, he was so sick.
Yeah. Bacterial meningitis is what he had.
His brain was pus.
His brain was dead. And they basically said, and he had the area of his brain, I think the prefrontal cortex, he said, that was responsible for dreaming and hallucination was completely shut down, which proves that he could not have had a hallucination.
There you go.
That it had to be a real experience of his soul leaving his body and having that experience.
Has he written another book on any of this?
He has 3 or 4 books. Okay. This is the only one I have on my desk right now, but he has at least 3, maybe a 4th one. Yeah. 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 So it's an amazing conversation. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple, anywhere you get podcasts, Soul Twin Stars with Lady Shadow and I. And of course, all my readings are on sale. Every time I go on Linda G, I lower the prices of all my readings. They range from $49 to $189. So,
well, because I was on Jeff's show, Nicole said everybody's asking for readings and I don't do readings. So she has the list and I'll make sure, I don't know if she's here right now, but I said, just send out the list of everybody that's doing readings. You're a medium too, though.
I'm a medium. Yeah. I'm a medium and I do card readings and guidance as well. Spiritual guidance, personal guidance, all of that. But it just says reading on my website. So if you want a personal guidance reading, just put that in the comments when you register. Cindy said Nick was spot on. Yeah, I really enjoyed meeting Cindy. I gave her a reading yesterday. We had a great conversation. And had I not had a reading right after that, I could have stayed on and talked to her for a couple of hours.
Don't you hate that? I've met so many people I could have been chit-chatting till the cows came up. But I had other people I had to do.
I know. I could have. I felt like we bonded. Like, you know how you just bond with somebody like right
Yeah.
away. I really felt like that with her. So, and I wouldn't have called you out, Cindy, if you wouldn't have put that on there. I wouldn't have told your business.
And for some reason, I don't know if there's a name for this, but when I'm reading, I don't announce death all the time, but I can see death. And I can tell, like, even in my life, my personal life, before I even took off, I told my sister something was going to happen with her husband at age 50, something big, huge. And she thought maybe he was going to have an affair and leave her or something. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at age 50 and dead by 56. I told my sister, don't tell our friend, but I saw her husband passing also sooner than later. And I don't know why I have that ability to see it.
Scotty, the medium who I follow, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he does a lot of ghost hunting as well. He says the same thing. He says when he meets someone or sees someone, he can tell when they're going to die, no matter how old they are.
Maybe not necessarily when, but I can definitely see death is around them. Yeah. There was a ghost hunter I worked with. Let me tell you, I was shocked he stayed even longer, but he definitely passed.
Wow. My mother, who again died in 1986, she told me a month before she died, she said, I'm going to die soon. Like, she said it her whole life, because her dad died when he was 38 and she was 40 when she died. And she kept saying, I'm going to die soon. I'm going to die. And a month before she died, she sat me on the couch and she said, I'm going to die soon. And she wasn't sick. And a month later, she got pneumonia and died.
Wow. I used to say I'd be dead by 50, and I'm going on 72 this September.
Well, we drink more water now, right?
Yeah, there you go. So somebody said something really interesting here, and I wanted to share.
I know the comments are so many.
Big news is getting ready to happen. Somebody wrote some big news is getting ready to happen. Huh.
Yeah, the comments are, I've seen so many comments. I wanted to stop.
Hi, Kevin. Kevin Loving's here.
Hi, Kevin.
Lisa only has margaritas on her mind. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, we talked about the 7.3 earthquake in Alaska. There's going to be another 7-pointer coming up.
Were you in the 89 earthquake in San Francisco? I was downtown.
Yeah, it was the World Series. I was at my parents' house.
I was on Powell and Market downtown.
Oh my God! My sister was at the big, where they had the baseball, what do you call that? The big, they tore it down, but where the 49ers were.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I should know this. I've been there 1,000 times.
And that was really, so you probably really felt it. It was so hard.
I was in a little jewelry store. I was on my way to therapy. It was up on the hill where the cable car goes up on Powell Street. And I was in a jewelry store, and I hadn't been in an earthquake before. And all of a sudden the counters started shaking and I didn't know what was going on. And everybody started running out of the store. And I'm like, well, gosh, I better run out with them. I don't know what's going on. And then the dust was coming out. You know where the big new mall was down on Powell?
Yeah, sometimes running outside isn't, because the windows will break above.
Yep. And then it was 5:04 p.m. and that was when the time change had already happened.
Right.
Early in October. And it was dark by 5:30 or 6. And the blimp was going over the city. That was the only light. The cable cars. I walked all the way up that hill to go to that office because I had no idea how bad it was. There was no cell phones or internet. I just thought I better go to my appointment.
And that Marina fire, my God. Yeah. And I'm thinking, the cost of rentals will go down there. I never went down.
No.
It never went down. And then, the Golden Gate, not the Bay Bridge dropped. Yep. The overpass that collapsed on itself. And the doctor that I worked with, because I was doing an OR rotation, learning the operating room procedures, he got taken out there with another doctor, and they had to cut a woman in half to get the 6-year-old boy out from underneath.
Somebody
wouldn't let the TV be on or anything.
Candlestick Park.
Candlestick Park. Yeah.
I don't know how I've been there so many times to Giants games.
I have friends that have the seats. They were selling the seats.
Oh, really? Oh my God. I would love one of those for my husband. Oh my God. He would love that.
So Laguna Hills is sold out, you guys.
Sacred Connections.
I think I've already sold 30 tickets. And that's actually going to be Thursday, the meet and greet with hors d'oeuvres. Friday, we're going to have a, light breakfast type, continental. And then we're going to have readings with Mel and I. We're having Arlene Bricka come in the first part of it and to meet and greet and talk to everybody and do some readings. And then lunch is being served. And then we're going to have, and I'll be upstairs, Mel will be downstairs. Plus we're reading, him and I are reading. And then Kirsten Langston, she's saying she's going to do drunk tarot, but she's going to do something that should be fun for everybody.
Edible tarot, I would love to do that one night.
Oh God, I can't do anything like that. Maybe in my
I can't even read when that happens. I can't.
Saturday from 4:00 on, we're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to have dinner. Dinner is being served, but then you can go home on Sunday because there's nothing happening on Sunday.
That sounds awesome. I'd love to. I have people out in California. I'd love to come out and be come to one of these.
Oh yeah, and then if you came out, I could even give you a table, and you can have your wares or whatever you want to sell.
No drunk tarot. No drunk tarot.
Yeah, I don't know how she's going to do that, but there is a bar downstairs. So
I'm a coffee person, so I will have I would have coffee.
When she's the one that got me started on YouTube.
Wow.
Kirsten was the one that first was doing it. And
my son got me started on YouTube.
Wow.
He and I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, do it. I'm like,
okay. I didn't know either, but that man said to me, you're going to do a YouTube show. And I protested. I'm shocked that lightning didn't come through the roof and kill me, because how dare you protest? That guide of mine, he's very stern. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't think I'm that funny either. And I said, but I don't want to get up and brush my hair. And he said, Linda, you will help calm them down. And there was something he said after that. I don't repeat it that much, but it's the truth too. He said, if your ego gets involved, we will remove your gift.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
I have a note here. Leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
Stop thinking, allow the flow. And I read that before. I have little reminders. Guide me, lead me, show me how I may serve. Little reminders, because our ego does get in the way.
We do. And like when people make negative comments,
yep.
You think I'm sensitive. Mel is really sensitive. That's why I hire people to go through my stuff so I don't have to deal with it.
Yep. My daughter-in-law managed all my stuff for a long time. And now, I just have a new grandbaby, so she can't do it right now. But yeah, I need people to help too. It's too much.
It kind of protects you. It's just like not watching too much news.
Right.
You
exactly.
Don't need all that intake.
Exactly. Oh, and I get more trolls on YouTube than any place else, weirdly, about hell and Jesus.
Oh, you get the Christian ones. The Christian ones that don't have any problem with putting a poor person who's probably a U.S. citizen in the alligator jail.
Or hiring a PDF file as president. That's the code word.
Yeah, I call it mushroom, you know what. So, but thank you guys. You guys are so cool. I mean, everybody is so kind. And I kind of lay it out there. I think that's why people like me, because, what do I got to lose? I wear my double wide JC Penney underwears and I'm ready to go.
Amen. I got mine. Yeah.
But I can't wait you be sure to let me know I'll be talking to you every month. I don't know how far in advance she needs to book hotels and stuff, but I
will talk to her tonight.
Flights yeah. Okay.
And she's probably watching, but there's so many comments going by. I can't see them. But
how many people showed up?
There was a little over 3,000 at one point, which is great.
That's wonderful.
Which is great. So let me know what day of the week once a month works for you, and we can have like a theme every month. Like I want to really do Science Proves Mediumship next month.
Awesome. Okay.
And if the orange guy is gone by then, we can readjust.
He's going to be gone at least by if he's still there at midterms, he's about ready to go. Because I'm telling you, his health is bad too.
I know. Did you see all the makeup on his hands and his swollen ankles today?
He's getting some IV therapy going on there.
Yep, something. They got to give
him. But they don't like us to. No. I remember one day, and I was talking such trash about him, and my guide said, "You know what? Knock it off." And I said, "What?" But he's terrible. And they said, "You're putting people in a state of resistance. All that hate does nothing for you." But we don't have to love him, but we have to kind of try to resist from constantly thinking, "I hope you burn in hell."
Yeah.
So anyway.
So yeah, let me know what day of the month is best. Thank you guys all for being here. I cannot wait to talk again. And I appreciate you, Linda. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Bob Nelson, Water Lily. I saw Ness earlier.
Julie, Roxy, my girl, Kathy Behrens, who's my colleague that we work together. We've worked together so much in mediumship. She's amazing. KathyBehrens.com. She's incredible.
I'll look her up because people are always looking.
Kathy's
okay, my friend.
All right, darling. Enjoy your dinner. Bye, love.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.